Hi, this is Meghasham, and we will be learning about franchisee management system and introduction. In this particular video, we will be dealing with maintenance menu of FMS. Maintenance is basically the fault-related activity that is performed to be performed for the franchisee. So, as we know that like the faults are usually closed in clarity system of BSNL. So there is no way that a franchisee can get a like direct information or a like live view of the faults that are actually coming for the franchisee or that have been booked by the franchisee. So the normal module procedure is that the concerned outdoor person or the franchisee manager downloads the fault list in the morning and then sends it to the franchisee for rectification, and then the franchisee again informs it back to the BSNL employees for closure. So this is usually a tedious process, and in this process, if in case any other delay is there, it is not available. And the second problem is like that in data is not live. That means like once the faults have been informed to the franchise in the morning, again in the afternoon or in the evening only we can inform that to the franchise. So whereas in FMS what we had done is we are collecting the data of faults that have been booked on a live manner. So all the faults that have been booked by the franchisee for the franchisee registered customer or the customers that are being maintained by the franchisee are available within a very short duration of time. So the franchisee can look into this information in the maintenance menu time to time and like close the faults. For example, the like maintenance menu consists of like five sub menus. That is pending fault orders. Pending fault orders are the orders which like show the how many all fault orders are pending, what kind of faults are there, and it also gives an interface to the franchisee to close the fault or reroute the fault back to the outdoor, citing that it is not related to the franchisee or it does not come under the purview of franchisee, or close the fault with the appropriate fault code, why it has been, what was the problem, whether the franchisee customer is satisfied or not, and what was the real reason for the fault. Similarly, track assigned faults displays the faults that have been closed and their status in clarity. Clear faults gives you the like number of faults that have been cleared by the franchisee for a given time period, and then fault summary, which shows the amount of faults that have been cleared, pending, or assigned to the franchisee. So without further ado, we'll just look into the pending fault order status. So once you click on the pending fault orders, there is a particular task called as franchisee underscore main task. This any task so what happens is when a fault order comes, the concerned party preroutes it to the franchisee, so, by creating a task called as franchisee underscore main. So this fault in clarity within fault like a category franchisee underscore main is pulled by the FMS system and displays it to the franchisee. So in this case, what you can see, the franchisee is able to see what are the various information concerned to the fault, like what is the exchange code, what is the phone number, what is the docket number, whether it is a repeat fault of account fault or not, when was the fault booked, and when it has been routed to FMS, and what is the complaint, and what is the duration till since the fault has been booked, which is very important for fault rectification. And then there is the customer information, his address, his contact number, etc. And apart from that, we are also showing him the information about franchisee main task, then the pillar name, service type, fault status. If any comments are there, to be rectified, comments are there in clarity that can be picked up. So in this particular case, we have only one fault because it's already in the day end and there are barely any faults that are being booked in the evening. So in order to close the fault, in this case, franchisee has to select the team member. Any one team member has to be assigned to close the fault. Without a team member, it is not possible to close the fault. So at least one team member should be there in team module of the franchisee. So in this, I can either assign the fault to a particular franchisee, and then the franchisee team member closes the fault, and then we close the fault, or we can directly close the fault if he sees that the fault is directly rectified. So again, we are showing up the various informations like the customer address, mobile number, through which the franchisee can directly contact the customer and can rectify the fault via phone, or also send his team member for rectification of the fault. So these are the few things that are visible, like docket number, why the fault has been there. So in order to close the fault, see, you need to select any one of the person who is closing the fault, then the fault code, which is usually default in case of many of the other services except for BB over Wi-Fi. In BB or Wi-Fi, you will be getting the fault codes which has to be populated, and then the fault clearance codes. The modem rectified, router rectified, okay, routed to outdoor. Routed to outdoor by franchisee is one particular case where you can route it back to the outdoor. So when you select ROOD, it again routes back to the outdoor or NEP from which the previous level which has routed from, or they can select error 691 or subscriber motor fault, etc. So in this case, we will just select NFF broadband, no fault found with broadband, and you have a provision to enter the customer OTP number. By default, the customer OTP number is 0000, or if in case the customer OTP has been routed, it can be done. Then additional that the franchisee can any additional comments that the franchisee needs to enter can be entered over here, then we should click on submit. So once submitting the fault is routed back for the fault submission into clarity system, and then it again can be tracked in track assigned faults. So as you can see, these are the various faults that has been rectified the franchisee and the various statuses in the comments. Phone line is dead, verified by Patil, who is the team member, and what is the customer broadband is working, etc. So in this case, you will see that if the customer has franchisee has submitted the fault and it has not been picked up by the clarity system yet, it is shown as submitted. And if the fault has moved on from franchisee underscore main to the next stage, the pending stage is displayed in the other color, etc. So this shows this helps us helps the franchisees to identify what is the status and where it is pending. So you can also search for the particular stage where they are there. So if you just enter BB underscore MDF, you will be seeing that only those faults which are underscore BB underscore and MDF are there. Similarly, if you want to just want to see the faults or rectified by only one particular person, you just need to search for that particular person and you will be showing the faults rectified by the particular person. Or you want to search for any particular telephone number or docket number like 52105, and still you will be seeing that you can pick up that particular. So this is more flexible in identifying as a group or as an individual fault identifier. And you can also pick up the cleared faults. Cleared faults is like the how many faults have been rectified or cleared. I'm just selecting yesterday and it will give you the faults that have been cleared. So there are 19 faults. 19 faults have been cleared by the franchisee. And then you can see the fault summary. Fault summary, you need to select the year and month. We'll just select month, November, because it's the latest month. And it will show you how many faults have been rectified by this particular franchisee, and how many have been cleared within 24 hours, 24 hours to 48 hours, 48 to hours to 72 hours, and 72 hours to 1 hour, and how many repeated faults were there. Repeated faults are those faults which are like repeated on a regular basis and have not been cleared up. So just click on the button and you will see how many repeat faults are there. It 132 numbers will be eventually populated. We'll just try again once again. So you see 48 to 72 hours, what were the faults, how and what was the duration, 68 hours or 66 hours it has taken to rectify the fault. So this way we can see how many faults are there, or we can have a exact performance